What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda after the Reds have gone up to Sunderland and beaten them by 1-0, the first team to win there in the Premier League this season. As always, we're going to go through the referee, the players, the substitutes and our manager, giving them all a score out of 10. You'll see 2 scorecards on every player image. The upper right hand corner is the average Anfield Agenda viewer score and the large square in the centre is mine. If you would like to submit your player ratings moving forward and win a signed Jurgen Klopp frame shirt completely free, all you need to do to enter is scan the QR code below. Use the link in the description for further details if you don't want to scan the QR code. But this giveaway is being brought to you thanks to our friends at the Collector's Corner. They're going to be giving us a signed item to give away every month throughout 2026, and you can also treat yourself to 20% off at thecollectorscorner.co.uk by using the discount code Anfield Agenda 1. Right, my friends, let's get into it. And here's something you're going to hear me say too often. I actually thought that was a good refereeing performance from Chris Kavanagh. Let a lot go, wasn't buying into some of the cheap fouls. Yeah, that's the type of refereeing performance I'd like to see a little bit more of. So for me, ladies and gents, it's a score of 6 for Mr. Chris Kavanagh and a little bit higher, 6.1 for the Anfield Agenda viewers. Next up, Alisson Becker. Again, good performance, but he didn't have a whole lot to really deal with. He dealt with everything under the high ball. I thought his distribution tonight was actually spot on, which has been something that in recent weeks we haven't been as impressed with as we always have been from Alisson. But all in all tonight, a good commanding display from Ali. So I've given him a score of 6.5. And the Anfield Agenda viewers have gone with a score there for Ali of 6.6. Next up, Endo. Oh man, your heart has to go out to him. Honestly, cannot believe the curse at right back firstly, but I hope that he is okay for the World Cup. And the manager said it looks like we're going to be without him for a while. Went off, obviously, with a shirt over his face. You could see he was in pain. A little bit of oxygen as well before he went off, which is never a good sign. So we do hope that he recovers quickly. But on his performance, I mean, he didn't put a foot wrong, did he? For somebody to come in who hasn't played as much as he had and be as consistently solid as he was there tonight, well, it speaks to the man's calibre and class. So for me, it's a 7.5 for Endo, and it's a 7 from the Anfield Agenda audience. But let me know your thoughts on Endo, and of course, I'm sure you'll want to share your good wishes as well for a speedy recovery to him. Next up, Ibrahima Konate. For me, I would have probably just shaded the man of the match for Ibu tonight over Virgil, but both of them were absolutely tremendous. Ibu did everything you could have wanted of him tonight. Got stuck in, was up to the physical battle with Brobery, won everything aerially, was putting his body on the line, getting in blocks. Just a really, really good defensive performance from the big man. So tonight we give him a score of 8.5, and the Anfield Agenda audience have gone with a 7.9 for Big Ibu. Honestly, really, really impressed with the whole defensive setup tonight. Really, really, really stood up to be counted. Right, we move on to our captain, Virgil van Dijk. Again, he was the TNT Sport Man of the Match. He was your Anfield Agenda Man of the Match as well, winning that vote. And again, like I said about Ibrahima Konate, faultless. Couldn't have asked for any more tonight. We know how good Sunderland are at home. We know they're never going to take a backward step and give up that proud home record. And tonight we had to dig in, and they did. It never even looked likely that we were going to concede. I feel like they could have defended for another hour and they still would have been keeping that clean sheet. So well done to both of them. And honestly, Virgil, deserving of his man of the match as well. So for me, an 8.5 for our captain. And for the audience, it's a score of 8 for Virg. Moving across to Andy Robertson, who again put in a very good shift on that left side. I don't like the fact that he doesn't go forward as much as Milos Kerkez does, but that must be under instruction. The thing I will mark him a little bit down for was some of those under-hit crosses is what I would say. But again, for a player that hasn't been playing a whole lot recently, came in and didn't put a foot wrong. So for Robbo, I'm going to give him a score of 7. And the audience have gone a little bit higher with a score there for Andy Robertson of 7.1. Into midfield now. And look, I still think we have work to do in the middle of the park. We just are not solid enough in there. And Gravenberch, I don't think, is going to work as a number 6 for us. The way the Premier League is shaping up, he's going to have to be moved a little bit further forward in the longer term. Today, though, he did go out there, get stuck in. I just still feel we're a little bit short in the middle of the park, aggressiveness-wise. So, for me, I'm going to give him a score of 6 tonight. And the audience, not too far away, with a score there for Ryan Gravenberch of 6.1. Next up, we move to Alexis Mac Allister. Now, this is a man that we've said on here, hasn't really been up to the standards we know he's capable of this season. Tonight, I felt like he stepped up and played a pivotal role. He was getting stuck in. He looked a little bit more like himself. And in tough conditions, he wasn't shirking that physical battle. So for me tonight, for Alexis, I'm going to give him a score of 7. And the audience have gone a bit lower with a score there for Alexis Mac Allister of 6.3. Now again, I got to remind you, I don't know the audience scores until I see them here as we're going through the video. So let us know your thoughts on Alexis, both this season and of course in his performance tonight. Next up, Florian Wirtz. He will probably be wondering how on earth he hasn't scored there tonight. He had a header that was saved by the keeper from a deflection Mohamed Salah cross that I think Ballard put up into the air. Then he hit the post. He had another shot that I think was dragged just wide. And he's getting into great positions. Just maybe he needs to hit them first time a little bit. But everything good tonight from an attacking sense did go through Florian Wirtz. And again, he's just coming on leaps and bounds. So for a float tonight, it's a 7.5 from me. And again, you can see we're exactly on the same wavelength, the Anfield Agenda viewers, with a score of 7.5 for Florian Wirtz. Next up, Cody Gakpo. Now, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here. A lot of people, again, not happy with Cody Gakpo, but I thought tonight was one of his more balanced performances because he did go around the outside a little bit and he did get to the byline and pull balls back. So for me, I'm not as outraged by his performance as some of the other people seem to be, and I always try to say to you, I take each game as it comes, and for me, I thought he was all right tonight. So for me, I'm giving Cody Gakpo a score of 6, and the audience, well, they've gone lower with a score for Cody of 5.2. Let me know what you think in the comments. Next up, Mohamed Salah. Again, I'm probably going to go against the grain a little bit here. Should he have scored tonight? Yes, he will know that. He should have. But I did like his range of passing, and I do think he got stuck in out there. Another lovely outside of the foot cross, which Ekitike managed to just put the wrong side of the post. And I know he hasn't been getting the goals that we're used to, but he has been getting involved in the final third, and I think he's a good option for his teammates, or he's given them good options, I should say. And yeah, look, goals not there, but I do like the range of passing that he's showing, and maybe I'm in the wrong here, but I'm starting to see some gradual improvements from Mo. So for me, I'm going to give him a 7. And the audience have gone for a 5.7. But like I said, I liked what I've seen there tonight from Mo, outside of the finishing. Hugo Ekitike, again, who doesn't love Hugo? And understood where the manager took him off there right at the end with the Brighton game coming up the weekend and the fact that we're very light in attack. He's got to work on some of those headers because that's 2 he's missed now in the last 2 games from very similar positions. But look, runs the channel well, always an option, always getting stuck in, a nightmare for defenders, never gives them a minute. So tonight for Mr. Hugo Ekitike, I'm going to give him a score of 7, and the audience have gone a bit lower there for Hugo with a score of 6.2. Next up, Joe Gomez. I'm delighted. I wasn't sure whether he was on the bench, he was actually going to be able to be utilised, or he was one of Arna's, put him on the bench and we won't bring him on. But when Endo got injured, I was relieved when we looked to the bench. Now look, I would have been fine with Calvin Ramsey coming on, but I got to say, when Joe came into the game, class personified. Lovely little cushioned header back to Alisson as well, defending across, getting blocks in. Yeah, just came into the game and got straight up to the pace of it, and I think acquitted himself very, very well. So for Mr. Joe Gomez, from me, it's a score of 6.5, and it's a 6.4 from the audience. So again, that you are equally as impressed. Next up, Curtis Jones. Right, this is really stupid and really silly, but his shorts were just too clean out there when he came on. I immediately wanted him a sliding tackle. Those shorts were just too white. That being said, he was okay when he came on. Always going to show for the ball. Always want to get forward, like I say about him. But, you know, it was just another set of legs in the middle of the park, really, when we needed to see out the game. So nothing too dramatic from me for Curtis. So I've got to give him a score of 6. And the audience has gone a little bit higher with a score for Curtis Jones of 6.4. Next up, Fede, who got a whole 4 minutes tonight, roughly, plus stoppage time. So maybe 10, 11 minutes all in. But genuinely, I thought he put himself about when he came on. Again, showed lots of effort and willingness to run down those channels. And we needed that pace. Would have liked him brought on a little bit earlier, to be honest with you, as after we scored, Sunderland really were starting to commit bodies forward. And I thought the pace of himself or Rio Ngamoa would have done us, well, we would have been well served, I think, to bring him on a bit earlier. But that being said, I'm going to give him the average score of 6 for a substitute coming off the bench, which is the average score you usually give a substitute unless they do something remarkable. And again, it's the same from the audience. Now, Arne, it's a difficult one to know how much praise to give to the players versus the manager. The players went out there and put in a dogged defensive performance and held their shape. But it's difficult to know what the instruction is. But I got to give credit to everyone tonight, and that includes the manager. Would I have liked to see some changes a little bit earlier? Yes, but he made the decision to go with Endo, and his performance rewarded the manager's choice. It's going to be a difficult end to the season for him. We know that. Make no mistake, all of us are Liverpool fans. We want the team to do well. So tonight, I'm going to try and be as fair as I can and give Arne a score of 6.5. The audience, a little bit lower, with a score there for Arne Slaw of 5.8. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Anfield Agenda player ratings. Now, tomorrow, myself and Connor will be recording an episode of the Anfield Agenda podcast. I'll be here with a news video at 4:30. Connor will be here in the morning. And, of course, we'll welcome you tomorrow night for the late night agenda as well. Until then, enjoy the win. Sleep well. Fingers crossed we can continue it against Brighton and Hove Albion at home in the FA Cup on Saturday. A reminder, that is an 8 p.m. kickoff. We'll see you here live from 6:45. Thank you again to thecollectorscorner.co.uk. And don't forget to enter our giveaway. We'll talk soon. Much love. Bye-bye.